Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It's Tracy. Megan and I are joining this week with Lisa and Christy. They have a series that is called Twisted Sketches. And for the month of May, we are joining with them. We're going to be using the sketch that you see in the top right hand corner. So I have started off with some Vicky Bouton paper, and I have the rose gold glaze. And I saw her do this on a Friday Night Live she has on Facebook. A segment where she goes live and she tries different techniques. And so this is exactly what she did. She watered down the glaze and then used the stencil brush. But whenever I did it, it kind of peeled up the paper, and um, it made that darker texture, and when I let it dry, I just scraped that off, and it was fine. So now I'm using the rose gold, and she also did this. She added different colors to give the rose gold a different color, and I'm trying to match this color that's on the paper that you see, because I'm trying to kind of coordinate. This is going to be one of the papers that I'm using in my page today. And actually, what I did is I made a little mini kit, a very mini kit, because we're doing 2 sketches. And so I wanted to have them kind of coordinate with each other. So anyway, I really didn't like this color. I didn't think it went, but I didn't want to waste all of that glaze. So I have a scrap piece of paper, and I already had gesso on this paper, and I still have that paper. I haven't done anything with it. So now I'm going to try the yellow in the rose gold and see what color I can come up with, see if that coordinates a little better. And it definitely does add it blends well together, and it gives you a totally different color. So I am, as you can see, I'm just kind of slathering it on there. And the thing about it is I do all of this background and you hardly ever see any of it. But it's a great way to kind of, practice or get a feel for how to put down glaze and watering it down and blending different colors with it. So I really like this color. It gives it a more pinky tone to it. And it's not quite the packaging technique, but she calls it kiss it, where you touch the acrylic that I have blended the colors onto the paper. So you're supposed to kiss it lightly. And now I'm going to see if I can, take some of that glaze off and go through this stencil, because it didn't go well through the stencil for whatever reason. So I wanted to see if I could add more texture by getting rid of some of the glaze. And it does work for the most part. But once again, you're not going to be able to see it once this is completed. Just kind of playing along, with this. I could have, tossed this to the side, but it really worked out well for it. It does make it onto my layout. So I used the Vicky Bouton crayons to blend the colors. Now, her paper is really, really thick, and this trimmer does nothing except just make a slice in the top layer. And so I peel it off, and I end up having to cut it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a border around this. So I have to get my guillotine. Well, I don't even have a guillotine of 12 by 12. What am I talking about? It's my caterpillar. So I use that to cut along the edges. Excuse me. So I really like the way that this is looking, and this is the paper that I am choosing to put as my border. And I'm not going to gut it because I want to use the whole thing. There's no reason for me to save this paper. This is one of the things that is in the kit, and I'm going to show the kit real quick whenever I get this adhered. And of course I didn't cut it short enough, and I am a-okay by using my scissors. It doesn't really bother me if it's not exactly straight. It's okay. Most people aren't going to notice anyway. So here's the little kit that I put together. So I'm going through all the little elements that I had pulled and all the scraps of paper. And I've kind of gleaned all of those papers by that floral paper that you saw at the beginning. So as you can see on the sketch design, there are those strips that are horizontal on the background, and then there's two 4x4 photos. And I decided to cut each of these papers different widths, but I end up going back and fixing them all to be at 1 inch. They needed to be 1 inch or smaller, actually, and I made them 1 inch and larger. So I'm just kind of placing to see how I'm going to like it. I don't want to put two light colors together. I need to have a light and a dark. And it's a great way to use up scraps is to do strips like this. And that's all I did. There were a few new things in the kit, in that I put in this kit, but most of it were scraps. And that was a sneak peek of Sophie. I'm kind of training her not to get on my table. A spray bottle is an amazing tool to use in training her not to do that. So I've got a spray bottle anyway because I keep it there on my desk. I don't know why I didn't use it before. All right, so here I've already trimmed them down to 1 inch and just, placing them how I think it would work. Now, these are two photos. I have mentioned these girls so many times. There are so many photos for me to scrap. And these are my niece's twins. They are 3. They just had a birthday, so now they're 4. But so now I'm just kind of going through how am I going to put this all together with the kit that I had created. Now I'm not exactly sure what these girls were doing. I don't know where they were or anything, but I just fell in love with the photos. I didn't do any stitching. I just glued these down. They needed to have some wet glue to glue them down. And I didn't see the need for you guys to watch me do that. And now I'm just doing my typical, outlining each one of the strips. I think that really does help, draw your eye inward. Oh, I love that little frame. That is from Good Vibes from Crepe Paper. And I didn't want to use all of it. I only wanted the top part, so I just trimmed the bottom part off. And I put one layer of foam, and I already know that this is not going to be enough. It really needs two layers of foam because it made my photo kind of saggy. So I do go back and add another layer. I did have some of those flowers already pre-cut, and those are the same flowers that were in the, my inspiration piece of paper. And I always like flowers. Can't ever go wrong there. I'm even going to get out some brads. And that fun is from the Good Vibes and then Be Yourself. That little, what is that? Like a watering can with some flowers in it. That is something I've had in my stash for a while. I don't remember where I got that, but I thought it went well together. More and more flowers. This kit was pretty fun to put together. When I found out that we were going to do this collaboration with Lisa and Christy, I thought, I might as well kind of have them coordinate with each other. And I've been doing some other collaborations with other scrappers, and I've been doing the um, oh, Crafty Mavens. Every month that there's been like you know, a homemade kit that I've been doing. I've done it for the past couple of months, and it has been a great way for me to use up my stash. So if I find any reason to, um, to make a kit, I do. So everything is going down so nicely. I really like putting something in that bottom left-hand corner. It needed a little something, I felt. And it's a little wooden flower that I put down on that watering can. And now it's time for the sequins. Always, always, almost always, anyway. I love the Spiegel Mom Scrap sequins. There's always colors in there that go well with whatever I'm doing. So I don't ever make you watch me put them down. There are some still shots at the end. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. And like I said before, I will make sure that I link Megan, Christy, and Lisa's videos, or at least their channels, so that you can watch those too. All right, we'll be doing this again in 2 weeks, so I will see you then. All right, you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.